If you want a small but very bright solution to accessory lighting on your 2018 or newer JL Wrangler, this Morimoto 4-banger HXV white flood beam ditch light kit will be a great choice to consider. I do want to mention that this will not fit the 4xe models because of the cowl mounting bracket, so just keep that in mind. Nonetheless, this set of ditch lights will be a great solution for the JL owner who's looking for a lot of light output and specifically wants that light to help with a close and wide spread of light to illuminate the sides of dark back roads to avoid hazards, especially in bad weather, and to light up trails at lower speeds if you do any nighttime trail riding. This kit will also be a compact way of getting a lot of that light if you prefer the look of a smaller light pod compared to a bigger light bar, or you even want to pair this ditch light kit with other accessory lighting on your build. Now this set will feature 3 high-powered LEDs per pod, which will light up the road in front of you, but with the flood beam pattern, it's not going to go too far, being really good for your immediate vision out front of your Wrangler and, more importantly, the sides of your Wrangler. Now with the wide spread of light, you will be able to drastically increase your peripheral visibility so you can identify hazards before your Wrangler comes in contact with them. Now while the lens will disperse the light closer to the Wrangler, it's not going to take away from the light output, allowing 6,000 collective raw lumens to shine through in a bright white 5700K color temperature for clear visibility and a modern appearance. Now these will have a super tough build. They are made with a polycarbonate lens on the front and a powder-coated die-cast aluminum housing. Both are going to be able to hold their own to any impacts off-road if you do take a hit from a branch or any obstacle, and the aluminum will help with heat management to keep the LEDs running efficiently when they're on, especially with this fin design on the back. And the housing will also be IP69K rated, which is higher than the average, being resistant to dust and high pressure water situations. So if you take a dunk with the front end of your Wrangler or you're constantly on dusty trails, these are going to hold up and the LEDs inside are going to be just fine. Now the LEDs on the inside are also going to be Osram XH LEDs for a high output and a long lifespan. And the kit is going to come with all of the wiring that you need for the installation. And these will also come with steel mounting brackets for both the cowl as well as the light itself. They will have a black powder coat for rust resistance, and they're made to fit these 4-bangers specifically for a direct bolt-on install. This kit will come in at about $750 and is definitely going to be more of a premium solution to lighting. Now they will definitely outperform some of the entry-level solutions when it comes to some of those build specs, and with the output, if you want to invest in a set of lights that's going to be able to take a toll, hold up to whatever you're doing in your Wrangler, and perform well when you need them in higher stakes scenarios. Now this specific choice will also be higher output compared to Morimoto's NCS option if you know that you need a bit more light but want to stick to a 4-banger design for the look and the function they provide. Now installing is going to be a 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, and the wiring is very simple. Most of it is plug and play, and it is labeled with this wiring harness here. You do get a nice resistor as well as a switch in the kit and all of the additional wiring that you need. So it's probably going to take you about an hour or so to get the job done. Very straightforward. Now at this point we can head over to our shop and check out a detailed breakdown on how you can get these installed onto your JL at home. So that is going to wrap it up for my review. Let's go ahead and jump to the install.
For this install you need a drill, a ratchet, zip ties, 17, 10, T40 and T30 socket, a step drill bit, and diagonal cutters. All right, today we're gonna be installing some ditch lights on our Wrangler, so let's get started. So to install our brackets, the first thing we need to do is take out 2 of our factory bolts right here and here. So we're gonna grab our ratchet and T40 socket, take those 2 out. So before we install our bracket on the vehicle, it just makes it a little bit easier to put the 2 together. So we are going to have our brackets like so. You'll see the Morimoto logo on the side. Place our larger bolt through, and then on the bottom we're going to do a flat washer and then our locking nut. Grab our ratchet with our 17mm socket and just tighten that down. Now if you need to, you can grab a 17mm wrench to loosen it up and adjust it and tighten it back down, just because it will be tight against the body here and you won't be able to get a socket on it. Now that we have our two parts of our bracket together, also make sure you have the correct one because you'll see that this is labeled for the left. So the bracket will sit like this. So we'll put two of our spacers in, our bracket over top, and then two of our shorter bolts. You do have longer ones, the shorter ones will fit this. We'll grab our ratchet with our T30 socket and you tighten those two down. Now we just need to mount our light. Now I'll plug our wire in first just so you can see. Just simply pushes in to the back. Push until you hear that click. Now there's two mounting points on either side. We're gonna go to the farther one at the top. It'll sit like this. Grab two of our supplied bolts. Get them started. Then we're gonna use our ratchet with our T30 socket again and tighten these both down. Just make sure you have the light oriented correctly. There's the two bulbs at the top. You also see the Morimoto logo. Now for the wire, we're just gonna tuck that around here. You'll see a square slot on the side. We're gonna grab one of our clips that looks like this, push that through. And that's actually going to grab a hold of the wire and help hold that in place. And then we are going to run our wire under our hood. You'll see this open channel on the side here. Is perfect to route it under the hood, but you can go ahead and do the same thing for the light on the other side. Just so you can get a better look, you'll see the clip here. Wire just simply snaps in like that, and you can run it down into that channel. So now you can see where that wire will come through under the hood. Now we're just gonna leave this bunch of wire here for now until we run our main harness. Now we'll run another connector over to the side, including our button. So now we have our main harness with our battery connect. We have our two wires that go to each light. And then our wire here that has our button options. So first we're just gonna hook up our positive and negative. So we're just gonna grab our ratchet and a 10mm socket. We're gonna take off this nut here and this nut here. We can hook up our battery terminals now. Our positive and our negative. Tighten those nuts back down. Now that we have that all connected up, we just have our extra wire here, which we're just gonna tuck down. You also have your relay. You do have an option if you do want to mount it. I would recommend mounting it. We're not gonna do that. You could just either send a self-tapper or even zip tie just straight to this harness, just to keep everything neat and out of the way. But we're just gonna tuck ours down there for now. Going to get our harness for our passenger side light over here. You can bunch up the extra and zip tie if you want down there. Grab our one connection, you'll see light 1, and there's also light 2. Really doesn't matter which one goes to which. Plug that into that clicks. Once again, you can zip tie all this bunched up just to keep it nice and neat. We're just gonna tuck ours down next to the battery. And we're gonna take our other two wires, our other light, and our button option, and run that across the firewall to the driver's side. So now I'm just gonna route our harness around our fuse box and our battery. You can take a couple of zip ties. I'm gonna go to this factory harness here, and then we can go to this mounting point here. You can take a pair of diagonal cutters and just cut off the extra on these zip ties. You can just keep running our wires across. We're just gonna keep going across, pulling our wires tight. You'll see that our connector just reached here, so we'll have to match our light connector up there. We'll zip tie to this mounting point right here. So again, take the diagonal cutters, cut that off short. We can actually plug in our light now and continue running this down here. Now, once again, you can bunch this up, zip tie the extra, secure this however you want. This is personal preference. We are just going to bunch this up and go to this factory harness right here. Now we're gonna route our wire for our button. You'll see a hole in the firewall right here. You normally will not have that open hole. We are missing our plug, but you would just pop your plug out. It just pops out by hand. We're gonna take our wire and just feed it right through that hole. And we can pull that through the rest in the inside. Now with the switch on the inside, you have a couple options how you wanna do this. You will have a connector that looks like this with a single wire on it. Now, if your Jeep has the factory options with the switches in the center console, you can easily hook it up to these switches that will turn it on with this. We do not have that, so we have this with a button on it. Now, it will just screw into the connector down here. Once you line up the proper tabs, just screw that down and lock it in place. Now, to install this, you're gonna take the button off the connector like that. Now you're gonna need to find out where you wanna install this, because you will need to drill a hole in a panel of your dashboard. Now you can install it anywhere you want, that's personal preference. If you wanna put it right here, you just pop this kick panel out, drill a hole right through like that. Now you can use something like a step bit. Just take your time, open up one size at a time till you find out the correct size that you need for this. I'm not exactly sure what size you need, but it's gonna be a pretty big hole. Once you have that opened up enough, you're gonna take that lock collar off, put your button through your dashboard, through the hole that you drilled it through. Then on the back side, tighten this down, snug that up, and that'll hold it right in your dash like so. Now we're not gonna drill a hole in our dash here because we are not gonna permanently modify ours. But that's how you do that. It's pretty simple, it's not really that hard. You just gotta find a good spot to put that, and then plug the connector back in, and you're all ready to go with your lights. And that wraps up our install of our Morimoto 4-banger ditch light kit HXB white flood beam for our 2018 and newer Jeep Wrangler JL, excluding the 4xe. And remember, for everything Wrangler, keep it right here at extremeterrain.com.